WordList1. Spite.
I believe she only did it out of spite. The neighbours throw things over the garden wall just to spite us.
Pyramid.
The pyramids of Egypt were built as tombs.
Tenure.
Instead of protecting speech and encouraging diversity and innovative thinking, the tenure system often stifles them.
Carbohydrate.
Carbohydrates can provide abundant energy.
Query.
Give us a ring if you have any queries about the contract.
Luxury. Accommodate.
The ballroom can accommodate 400 people.
Eradicate. The debt problems of some enterprises have been mostly eradicated over the years. Tertiary. Ranch.
The newlyweds wanted to hold the wedding on the ranch.
Primarily.
The article is primarily concerned with pollution.
Lotion.
I put some lotion on my sunburned skin.
Setback.
Carl has pulled in his horns since that setback.
Carton.
She did purchase some canned food and a carton of milk, only to discover later that both containers were combined with plastic resin.
Restrain.
I don't know how to restrain her tears.
Abbreviation.
NO is the abbreviation for number.
Lottery.
Martin always said that life was a lottery.
Gossip. Reward.
A $10,000 reward has been offered for the return of the stolen painting.
I've no wish to reward them. Deadlock. Maintain.
Some uniforms are expensive to maintain, requiring professional dry cleaning.
Define.
The duties of the post are difficult to define.
Harmony.
We can work in harmony.
Arrogant. Lucrative.
An increase in consumer demand has made food retailing a lucrative business.
Afford.
He cannot afford to have a coffee break.
Argue.
When you can't cure a disaster by argument, what is the use to argue?
Paradise. Plea.
Like them, I make no plea for mercy.
Merely.
Father said that he was merely taking a nap.
Barracks.
The beggars were lodged in the old army barracks.
Abide.
Competitors must abide by the judge's decision.
Erode.
This system of production eroded workers' condition of labor.
Flat.
Clients are charged a flat rate of $250 annually. That night I lay flat on my back and stared up at the ceiling.
Ponder. Ignite. Asset.
Net asset value.
Decent.
Decent behavior. A decent salary.
Recipe. Premier.
The magnate owns one of Asia's premier heart clinics.
Casual.
They fell in love with each other after a casual meeting.
Severe.
Silence is sometimes the severest criticism. A rather severe red brick building.
Cult. Propel. Authorize. Instruct.
They instruct us on what is justice.
Lure.
You shouldn't be lured by beauty and power.
Genuine.
It's made of genuine ivory.
Emergency.
Don't call me unless it's an emergency.
Proceedings.
Divorce proceedings.
Consensus.
We should have a consensus on how she is going to handle it.
Artery. Internal.
Each country has the right to control its own internal affairs.
Splash.
Green turns on the water and starts to splash some on his legs.
Calorie. Accommodation.
I've been looking in the newspapers for student accommodation, but it's all so expensive.
Background.
This book gives the background of the Civil War.
Spoil.
The whole park is spoiled by litter. I was a little bit spoiled by my mother and sister.
Represent.
They may represent very complex conflicts, values and emotions.
Sponge.
Lincoln sponged away blood on the knees.
Hostile.
Hostile forces have taken control of cities in the north of the country.
Chord.
The speaker obviously struck a chord with his audience.
Feeble. Spontaneous. Spouse. Sparkle. Receipt.
Keep your receipt in case you want to bring it back. Total revenue receipts of $18.4 million.
Compliment. Compliment.
An admirer compliments Gates in public.
Poverty.
The poverty rate among women in the US rose to 14.5% last year.
Scandal.
A financial scandal.
Overthrow. Overthrow.
Rebels had already made plans to overthrow the government.
Abstract. Abstract.
A lot of people don't like abstract art. It is really difficult to abstract those stories.
Ensue.
After the heavy rain, floods ensued. His illness ensued from malnutrition.
Cognitive.
Cognitive psychology. A cognitive activity.
Notion.
The central notion of social learning theories is that people learn attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors through social interaction.
Lubricate.
We stopped the car to lubricate the wheels.
Sprinkle. She sprinkled sugar over the strawberries. Add a sprinkle of salt. Acute.
As a poet, Ted Hughes had an acute sensitivity to the way in which constraints on self-expression, like the disciplines of meter and rhyme, spur creative thought.
Shipment.
Your order will be ready for shipment tomorrow.
Comparable.
This dinner was comparable to the best French cooking.
Spy.
Jack was paid by the police to spy on his colleagues. Ellen suddenly spied her friend in the crowd.
Pedestrian. Interaction.
A key process in interpersonal interaction is that of social comparison, in that we evaluate ourselves in terms of how we compare to others.
Faculty.
Mary had a great faculty for gathering information. Both faculty and students oppose the measures.
Clutch.
Tom raises his arms into the air and tries to clutch at something.
Biography. Mourn.
We mourn the passing of a good man.
Limp.
John's body suddenly went limp and he fell down on the floor. Lucy watches him limp to the entrance.
Squad.